Hey, so Jason Morris here. So I want to tell you guys what I've been reading up about the student loan stuff, and I think it's really interesting. And I think it's unbelievable. Like, I got some friends. So I graduated from Winthrop University, and I finished in 2013, I think. And so, I mean, not 2013, 2003. Jesus, I'm way older than that. So, but here's one of the interesting things. Okay, so the Biden administration has made some efforts talking about $10,000. So NAACP President Derek Johnson says that we need them forgiven up to $50,000. Okay, so I think this is really interesting. I think it's probably one of the most interesting and probably one of the scariest things going on right now, because right now we have massive inflation, right? Okay, and it's not just NAACP, it's a lot of organizations. This was one of the best articles I've read recently. So he talks about home ownership. Talks about it being one of the biggest drivers of wealth creation, which it is, right? We're all going to pay for somewhere to live. We might as well, if we're going to be there, we might as well buy it, right? So I think that's a good point he's made. But to cancel all the student loan debt, it'd be $1.7 trillion. So that would literally be $1.7 trillion just wiped off of balance sheets and stuff, which would be, you know what, it'd be great for a lot of Americans. You know what, I got a guy I went to college with. He was telling me not long ago that basically he hasn't made a payment since this whole thing's been going on. And the interesting thing about that is his payments are $980 a month, right? And you know, he hasn't made a payment in 2 years. I am pretty sure that $980 a month has went from student loan payment money, right, bill money, to discretionary spending. Maybe he's turned it into money he needs for bills, right? But I bet that's discretionary spending at this point for him. So the odds, what are the odds of him starting back paying when this moratorium is over? So, and I mean, he's not the only one. I'm not picking on the guy or anything. There's way, way, way more people than that. So what happens? What happens when $1.7 trillion is forgiven? What happens with inflation, right? And where's that going to put interest rates? And honestly, where's that going to put schools, right? Because there's some funky stuff that's going on with some of this debt forgiveness has already been done with for-profit schools, which is scary stuff, right? And so, so I have a lot of questions about this, and I agree that that maybe those people would use that money for home ownership, but the problem with that is it's been quite a while since anybody's had to make a student loan payment. And if they haven't bought yet, they're probably not going to buy. So is it worth it for the country as a whole to forgive $1.7 trillion in debt and deal with the consequences with inflation of taking $1.7 trillion off a balance sheet somewhere? So, man, I think it's going to be really interesting. I think that we have so much stuff happening in our economy right now, and so many underlying factors. All the fundamentals have changed, and we have so many things at play that if one thing doesn't go right, we don't have just one thing that can crash the market. We have so many things that can crash the market and crash the real estate and housing industry and crash the stock market. So, guys, you know what, man? We just gotta watch and wait and see, and kind of hope for the best on this. So, but I wanted to show you guys this. I thought this was, I think the student loan stuff is very interesting, and I think the way that it's going to affect the real estate industry is going to be very, very interesting.